Hey, this is Sully with Sully Speaks. Today we're going to be talking to Alani. She has her certification in nutrition, and this is going to be a part of the Sully Gets Fit program because we're trying to lose this weight. We're going to go over depression. We're talking about food and emotions. We get into a lot of juicy stuff, guys. You got to listen. Sophia, tell them. Say like and subscribe to my mommy's channel.
Like and subscribe on Mommy's channel.
Yay! That's my girl. Okay, you guys, get ready. Let's talk. Okay, so accidentally overcooked chicken. Okay, so accidentally I didn't do it yet. We gotta start over again.
Oh my.
Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Sully from Sully Speaks. Here we go. We're talking with my old-time friend, Alani, one of the loves of my life, my best friend. We knew each other for years. Like, I'm talking about ninth grade.
Ninth grade. Oh no, let me not say the year.
You want to tell them the year, though?
No, we're not going to tell them the year.
Oh, but you're not that old, though.
But we go back to ninth grade for sure.
Ninth grade, yes. So she's here to tell us about her certification and her nutrition certification. She wants to do big things for the community. She wants to change the way we think about food. She wants to change the way we're thinking about. She wants to change the way we think about our health and how food connects to our mental health. So we're going to be talking about a few things today. I'm going to sit here and let her talk and give her spiel about what she did.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for having me. I just also want to say I think it's really awesome that you're creating this space for Muslim women, especially Muslim women of color, to speak on health and wellness and mental health, especially. But so my certification is through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. It is a certification in nutrition. So no, I am not a registered dietitian. This is a course that, first of all, was very personal to me because I, like a lot of us, struggle with weight and food, emotional attachments to food. I have a daughter who is a type 1 diabetic, and so her illness is directly related to her diet. And so like I said, the certification, me wanting to achieve or attain the certification to begin with, was a part of a very personal journey and experience for myself. But also, I do want to be an advocate and a voice for, again, the Muslim community, Muslim women, but also specifically women of color, because unfortunately, we have statistics, health statistics that put us at higher risk for diseases. And I don't believe that it's because it's in our DNA. I believe that, again, African American women, we grew up at a disadvantage. We grew up in more inner city urban communities where we've just had a certain set of a lifestyle that was not conducive for healthy living, whether that's living in a neighborhood where you don't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables. I mean, it gets deep. Like, we can go back to just two parent households. It just goes so deep. But to not delve too deep and just like to get straight to the point, I wanted to attain the certification as a stepping stone for my journey toward better health and better wellness, first for myself, for my family, so that I can like seem like I know what I'm talking about. Because people don't like to listen to you if you don't have a certification or a degree or something. So I felt that it was important to take some steps to showing that I am serious about my health and wellness journey.
Okay, I'm not about to cry, but I'm about to cry. That was beautiful.
Shut up.
See, that's why you can't interview people you know because you joke too much.
No, but that's it makes it fun. We don't want to be
Yeah, I
too
know.
serious. It's enough seriousness going on in the
It
world.
is. It is. So I agree with everything you say. Like I've always struggled. No, I haven't struggled. I think after my last child, I think the weight stuck, and it was like I was talking about this in my intro video, how I was tangent breastfeeding. That means I was breastfeeding two kids at the same time, and
Girl.
my body did not want to let go any of that excess fat, and I was struggling to lose it, and I felt some type of way. I'm like, what am I eating? What am I not eating? And
Hmm.
I didn't have anybody to talk to because it felt like everybody else around me was struggling with weight. So if you don't see a success story, if you don't see someone else with at least a little bit of knowledge about health, even
Right.
if you're still struggling through that yourself, I want to go to somebody that looks like me and that can relate. Like, girl, I get it. So it's really, you know, uplifting to know that I can have someone I can talk to, I can call to, the well, what does the FDA say about this, or what should we do about this? Is this a good way to lose weight? So we have that option now.
Right. And it's, of course, there are other Muslim women and African American women in the community, obviously, who this is nothing new, but
Yeah.
it's definitely we're at a shortage of people who are qualified to speak on health issues. Now, I am happy that I'm starting to see more people of color are waking up and taking more control over their health and jumping on the bandwagon, whether it's the CMOS bandwagon or
Mhm.
the vegan or these smoothie cleanses. I'm starting to see more of our generation, more of our like I said, people of color getting serious about their health. um
And I think
so
it's from going from eating soul food all the time because that's what we were taught to eat, from eating soul food to eating salads. So it's like, we have to make that connection. And I do you have a, like, when you talk to people, are you able to make that connection with people? Because it's like, can you talk to women who have, I'm a fry food every night, how they're going to go from frying food every night to making a salad? Like, is there a in between?
I think that first of all, you have to address the psychological attachment that you have to the food before anything.
Mm,
Because if you don't address the psychological attachment to the food, you can jump on, like I said, there's a lot of like, oh, do this for 10 days, do this for 30 days, do this challenge, and it may work. And you may see the weight you may experience that instant gratification, but the problem is that a lot of our attachment to to bad food is a psychological attachment. You know,
it derives
we
a lot from depression.
I think it's the right exact from personally for me, I can say this much. I know that I think that my attachment to food started, I would say, after I had my first child.
Mm,
And I was also in an abusive relationship. I was in a difficult relationship and experiencing no, I'm sorry, not my first child. I'm sorry, my second child. I didn't mean to say my first child, my second child. Um After I had my second child, I was also in my second marriage,
mm.
and it wasn't going well. That's a whole nother topic for another video,
Don't worry about
but
it. I'll call you back. We gonna have
uh,
another one.
that's right. That's another topic for another video. But it definitely was one of those things where I wasn't feeling good about myself. I wasn't feeling good emotionally. And so, usually, when you're not feeling good emotionally, you're looking for something to give you some kind of feel good feeling. I
Mhm.
was never into drugs. I was never into alcohol. So I didn't resort to these things, but I could call up and order myself a cheesesteak or a pizza or jump in the car and go through the quick drive through. And that in that moment made me feel better. And so psychologically it was like, oh, I'm feeling bad. Um, I need that thing that's gonna make me feel good again. I need some type of joy in my life, enjoyment, and food tastes good. You know what I mean? And usually, oftentimes, the worst food tastes the best. And so,
Especially if you living in Philly, like, Philly, we're
right,
sweet. We have a plethora of bad foods to go.
exactly. Philly, man. Now yeah. We
Yeah,
that's another video.
that's another video and all.
But again, going back to like you asked me, what can I tell women who want to go from they don't know where to start. They're cooking fried food, they're at the Chinese store every other day, and they want to go get off of it. It's gradual. And I know people don't like to hear that because by the time people want to make a change, they're usually so dissatisfied with their self, usually their physical appearance. They're so dissatisfied with their physical appearance that they don't really want to take the time out they don't want to hear that it's going to take 6 months to a year to get the weight off. But realistically, and I had to learn this the hard way. I mean, I've gone through every 10-day, every cleanse. And again, they do work. But in the long run, they don't, because you haven't addressed the psychological factors. You haven't started working on those other things. Um, you know, if you're in an abusive relationship, or if you hate your career, you're not gonna want to get up and exercise.
But I think even if you're not in an abusive relationship, like honestly, like I was a single mom for 5 years, and this was after I left my abusive relationship, and I was like in survival mode. So
Mm-hmm,
in survival mode is like when you get shot, you're not feeling that pain because I had to go to
mm-hmm,
work every day. I had to
mm-hmm,
take
mm-hmm.
buses back and forth. Like it was just me and my kids, and it was like if I don't go to work, then they're not going to eat, and I wasn't feeling that shot wound. But then
Right. You were just like on autopilot.
I was like, yes, yes, all right, let's get it done. And then I got married to my husband. I got married to my husband, and there was a sense of peace. But that sense of peace, something came out, and I had my first anxiety attack maybe a couple months afterwards because I was relaxed. All of the
And you were
feelings.
looking for something to worry about. It was like, where is the stress? Where is that? There's got to be something that I'm like need to panic about right now.
Yeah, it's like what's going on? Why am I relaxed? This is not a normal feeling because all of
Mm,
my life, from childhood trauma, from being a child in seeing abusive relationships, from seeing stuff that we shouldn't have seen. Even though I grew up in a Muslim family, and we're not allowed to talk about that kind of stuff because the name that I hold, blah blah blah. There's certain things we shouldn't have seen or shouldn't have done. People don't understand that childhood trauma, it affects you, especially if you're not
absolutely.
allowed to talk about it.
Absolutely. Yep. And that again goes back to addressing that psychological factor. People have to address their mental health before you can start making those changes within your body, for sure.
Yeah, when I had the anxiety attack, I thought I was about to die. I was like, my husband was great. We rushed to the hospital because I'm like, my heart, my heart, my heart.
You didn't know what it was, I'm guessing. Initially, you didn't know what that was.
I didn't know how to react to it. And it was just like, that's when I started having more and more because I started realizing that it was like, it just flooded. Like all of the abuse and all of the things I saw, it was like, it just flooded. And I'm like, I'm happy though. Why? My husband makes me smile every day. Why am I feeling so sad?
Mm,
And I got comfort. I got comfort weight. I had comfort weight because I got comfortable. I started eating. And then I had two kids back to back. So I gained his weight. I'm like, yo,
mhm.
what happened that quick?
Right. And not to mention we're getting we're getting older. We're not, you know, when no,
We're
but
not.
because I'm realizing it, like I'm in my 30s now, and I'm realizing that, like, my knee hurts a lot. And no, but we are getting older, and so then you have to learn too, like, okay, well, now I have to start adjusting and understanding my metabolism. I have to start understanding my hormones and balancing those things. And that's where I'm at on my journey to just learning about everything I can learn about my body, about women's bodies, hormones, and like again, balancing your metabolism. All of that has to do with weight loss. And a lot of people got to understand too, like it's not about just how you look. It is really about what's going on the inside of your body. I'm sorry, my cat is choosing to cry. Can you hear him?
No.
Okay. Um, but again, I'm sorry, he's like so distracting. Um, right. So what was I saying? Because he just totally threw me off.
Too. So you're choosing to do something.
Anyway, I'm trying to learn about, I'm at an age now where that stuff is important. Understanding hormones, understanding your metabolism, understanding the things that, understanding what's making your body out of whack, you know. Um, so back to the nutrition certification, it doesn't teach you everything. I mean, nobody knows everything. This is a constant learning curve, health and wellness, but it's definitely a good start. And I would encourage anybody to look into it. The National Academy of Sports Medicine is a very well known and respected organization within the health, fitness, and wellness community. And so I would encourage anybody who wants to start that journey to get it, even if you don't plan on using it for professional reasons. It's a very, very good, thorough program that introduces you to nutrition,
Mhm.
proper nutrition.
Is it something that is expensive that people have trouble with obtaining?
So no, it's affordable. I think the program is about $1,000.
Can
You
you
do not. Hmm?
can you break it down to payments?
Yes. Yep. 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 They are interest-free payments. Pretty low.
So you
So
got no rebate. So the money.
no rebate. They're interest-free payments. So yeah, the program is really, really affordable. It's self-paced in a way. There is an exam, and you do have to complete the exam within a year of beginning the program. So it's self-paced, but at the same time, you got to get it done
Yeah.
at some point in time.
Oh, that's cool. That makes sense. So how do you address how would you, if you know someone and they want to come to you and get your services, get your help with nutrition, what would be the first steps you would take? How would the consultation go? Can you, in your mind, when you envision when your business begins, what do you want to tell the sister or whoever you talk to? How are you going to
I
start?
think an initial consultation would need to include, first of all, a personal conversation. The person would have to be willing to be a little open about what they're struggling with and why. Um,
Open and honest.
Open and honest health issues, because again, I'm not a registered dietitian. For example, if someone says, well, hey, I have diabetes, it's not within my scope of practice to treat someone with diabetes. It would be in my best interest to advise that person to seek out a qualified diabetes educator, for example. So again, a consultation is going to be, hey, health issues, what do you currently eat? Um, what your goals are, because it's not about what I think the person should want for themselves. It's about what they feel like they want for themselves. So, yeah, that's what I think the first a consultation would be: setting goals, being honest about what their journey has been thus far, um, and moving on from there.
I think it's good that you have to understand, like, because I know you like in and out. So it's like when I have problems, you're the person I call. You know,
Oh.
like I'm like, Lonnie, this happened. So I you're easy to talk to, and I think this is perfect for you because you have that empathetic attitude. You understand what people are going through.
I also think I'm a know-it-all. So I think that like
But
this is right in my alley. No.
it doesn't protrude. It's like you think you're a know-it-all, but at the same time it's more of an advice. So it will be if I need advice about something, if it, it'll be from Quran and Sunnah, or it'll be from whatever knowledge or life experience you had. So it's not like, well, girl, you ain't do this. It's not pointing fingers. It's more of it comes from a place of love.
Right,
So
right, absolutely.
it's a comforting thing talking to you. So I think when people hear about your story, hear about what you do, because weight is an embarrassing thing. We
Mm-hmm,
barely want to talk to our husbands about it. If they
mm-hmm,
notice, oh babe, you getting a little fatter in the belly,
mm-hmm.
do something about it. We gonna catch an attitude. Like, what you mean? You're gonna have that attitude because you're embarrassed.
No,
That's
yeah, and definitely the pressures, especially of a Muslim woman. Again, you need to make this like a topic to discuss the pressures of a Muslim woman, to be attractive within her home with all of the outside temptations and the standards. That's a whole nother ball game. Yeah.
so I feel like people can come to you and honestly get an honest opinion, an honest evaluation, and stick with a plan and be successful.
And
So
I hope that I give off that vibe. I would hope so.
I think you will. I think you will. I think this is, a niche that you will do very well in, especially with your experience,
Inshallah.
order, and what you have went through. I think using our life experience, because that's what I use. I know that I've been through a lot in my life, and I want to use my life experience to help someone else to make it better. So
No, that's exactly right. And like you just said, for one, okay, people need people tend to gravitate toward people who they can relate to. And I noticed that, if for example, if either of us wanted to, work out, or you get on YouTube or you get on these things and you see these fit people and you follow what they tell you to do, but realistically some of these people have never struggled with weight a day in their life. They've never
that's
struggled. They don't understand it. So to be able to, and that's what I want to be. It's somebody that, oh, okay, yeah, I dealt with, weight issues before. I have experience in all that, you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I definitely want to be,
it's real because a lot of the YouTubers on the low may have had plastic surgery, had a tummy tuck, had this, had that, had their butt lifted because they want to make some money and they're using their body as a vessel to make some money, and let them do that. But a lot of them, you follow the program and you like, 6 months, and I'm like, yo, where my butt at? Like, how? Why my booty not popping?
right, right.
So it's understandable, and I think it's awesome that you've gone through this, and you've gone through this thing. So, what? How would you mentally address or talk to the person about their connection to food? Because food is, like I said, is a source of medication. I've used it. I have ADHD and I have anxiety and depression, and I keep snacking because my mind needs to be constantly satisfied because a I have an insufficient amount of dopamine. Hold on.
Sure.
So with ADHD is like, we don't have that dopamine, and you need that, thing. So,
Absolutely.
you have that snacking and it causes weight. So
The
how would you
first thing is you have to understand it, like what you just said. You have an understanding of exactly what's going on
yeah.
within your brain and your body. Everybody doesn't. Most people don't even understand that that's what's going on. So the first thing is educating someone or understanding what's happening. I remember reading something, and the way that they explained it was, when you are feeling like a craving, you
Mhm.
have to address it, and you don't have to address it with giving into the craving. You literally are addressing the craving and addressing, okay, where is this coming from? Why am I hungry, or am I stressed, or am I bored? So honestly, it does come down to willpower, and that's, people want a quick fix. A lot of times we click around on the internet and we're looking for that video, we're looking for that person that's going to tell us exactly what we need to do and the easiest way to do it.
Mm,
We don't believe that that's what we want, but that's what we're looking for. And a lot of times the reason why we don't stick with anything is is not because the advice doesn't work, or not because the person was incorrect or boring. It's you. And that's the thing. It boils down to, for me, as like trying to be a nutrition coach, I can't give you willpower.
Mm.
I can't do that. And so I can't tell you, I mean, what my success as a nutrition coach is going to be measured by, but people have to understand that I can only do but so much. You know what I mean? A YouTuber um, can only do but so much. It really comes down to willpower. You have to have the willpower. At some point in time, you have to just take control, and you have to take control enough to see the light at the end of the tunnel and realize, hey, one day I'm not going to crave these things anymore if I just stick with it.
Yeah. I also think that I got tested and my doctor didn't want to test me. He was like, "You don't have ADHD." I'm like, "It's something wrong with me." I'm like, he was like, "You're probably just anxiety." Um,
Mhm, mhm,
I in Philly, I had this done. I had the doctor told me that, it was right around the time my father passed, and I told him, I'm like, I feel like I have ADHD. I looked up some symptoms, and I'm like, it's matching me. And he said, no, you just have anxiety. And then
mhm,
he gave me some anxiety medicine, and it was the worst thing he could have ever done in my life. It was one of those anxiety medicines that were considered black box. And I was to the point of almost suicide because of the fact that it didn't address what I needed to address. It didn't address the ADHD. So I completely stopped taking the medicine. He wanted to give me more. And I'm noticing that doctors just like, no, you need more. You need this, you need that. But then years down the line, maybe 5 or 6 years down the line, I forced the doctor, I pushed it. I was like, I need you to test me for ADHD because I feel like I have it.
mhm, mhm,
And they addressed it. Not only do I have ADHD, I have a reading disability, I have anxiety, severe anxiety and depression. And when when he was like, "Oh wow, I didn't even think you had that," I'm like, "I know because you weren't listening."
mhm,
So it was like a salty feeling. Doctors never apologize because
mm,
they have the science behind them.
mhm,
So you have to push for what you feel is going on. I had to push. I had to go to two doctors. He was not about to get me tested. I needed to get tested and I pushed for it. And a lot of people are not their own advocate.
I was about to say, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to be able to do that.
So when I took these two medications, even though the medications didn't go well for my body, it was like too much for my body to handle. Even
Mhm.
though I had those medications and I eventually stopped them, I someone listened. Someone actually tried to help. So, alhamdulillah for that. But and I wouldn't even recommend medication for people because I am now completely off of medication and dealing with things more in a natural way. Like I tried CBD oil. Um, I I didn't just take it. I asked advice from a masjid because it's still impermissible. I'm not going to be like, okay, go get those oils, do what you got to do because you have to have sound advice because the reason that they said it was okay for me to take is because of the way my medication reacted to me, and I needed some kind of dopamine fix. I needed some kind of help with the dopamine and the imbalance that I was having. So I got to a point that I didn't want to be dependent on anything. And I realized that maybe the problem was just me accepting my situation
Mhm.
because I was depressed about things that happened to me in my childhood, and I had anxiety about things that I wanted for my future.
Mhm.
Why wasn't I satisfied with my decree in the middle?
Mhm.
So I had to accept my place with my mom because we never had the best relationship, but I always struggled with that. Like, why doesn't she love me? Why doesn't she care? And that question why was always the thing that held me back. Why
Mm.
don't my siblings accept me? Why, once we let go that why, then because we don't need to know why. As humans, I feel like we're naturally curious. Why does this happen? Why does that happen? Why do we have the sun in the
Mhm.
sky? But sometimes you're not going to get those answers. Why does
Mhm.
he leave me? Why doesn't he love me? I gave him everything. Why isn't he the person for me?
Right.
Stop asking that why and accept who you are.
Right. What is that saying that's like the something to change the things you can't accept the things you cannot
Don't do it.
you
Don't.
know what I'm talking about. So, no, no, but um no, that's absolutely true. And that goes back to as far as nutrition, I think you were kind of leaning toward talking about how like doing things naturally and getting off of medication. That's now I'm not advising
No,
again,
no, no, no.
anybody, you
That's
have to
what
make your
I had
own
to do. I was
decisions
having
based.
neurological side effects, like to the point like I was paralyzed from the waist down because my arms would stop moving because of the medication I was taking. And when I went to the doctors, they would tell me it was because I had 4 kids and I was a woman. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Because you have, womanly stresses. I'm like, excuse this, sorry,
Excuse
squeeze me.
me.
You have to say, squeeze me, sir. Like, no, that's not. I have had kids before. I had more stresses, so they didn't believe me when I was telling them I'm having all of these neurological symptoms. But you have to understand, for me, doctors don't do their research on the medications that they prescribe.
No, I mean that's a whole yeah. I mean, they're not oftentimes they'll prescribe like a basically a one size fits all
Mm,
type of situation and just to get you out the door. And that's what people have to realize too. Like you have to be an advocate for your own health. You have to try to do as much research as you can. I mean, the internet is, ridiculous, but at the same time, there's a lot of valuable information and people have to um look out for themselves.
yes, 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 yes. I think less sugar, more natural foods. What I've been treating myself with is just more natural foods, calming down. Honestly, being more religious, um, and understanding that when I was going through most of this, I was trying to control things. I had
Mm-hmm.
control issues because I'm like, no, I can do this, I can do that. I can't do it. It's not in my power to do it. Because
Mm-hmm.
the creed for me to do it. So the lack of control that I had to accept was hard, so hard.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the biggest thing. I can't control it. So Allah is going to do it. Why am I trying to force this situation? This is what Allah is going to do for me.
That's right. That's right. I think a lot of us struggle with that, trying to, use our own intellects to problem solve. And then you wind up kind of chasing your tail.
Mm, mm. Have you ever done like therapy?
I have not. I'm open to it. I have close companions of mine who have shared their experiences with me, and I'm definitely open to it. I haven't not done it because like I'm against it, but to be honest with you, my personal stance on it is that first I need to address the things within my deficiencies within my religion before I seek outside help. And I think
I
that
agree.
that's again, I'm not judging the next Muslim for deciding that they need to seek out a psychologist or a therapist. But for me personally, the reason why I have not sought out um, a therapist or a psychologist is because, like, again, like I said, we have a protocol and we have a blueprint within this religion. And we have to be patient with the process. We have to address the things that I think that's another thing too. We like to victimize ourselves. Um, and part
Yeah.
of being a part of seeking therapy sometimes can be this, woe is me, I need somebody to
Mm,
coddle me sort of thing. And I know like a lot of people hearing that like depend on their therapist would be pissed off at me saying this, but one of the things that's beautiful about Islam is that we have to accept accountability for why the things that are happening in our lives are happening. And then we take Allah, his messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, their blueprint for how to manage these things. There's nothing in our religion that is incomplete, that doesn't have a solution. So I feel personally that I need to start there.
Mm.
That needs to always be where I start. If I seek outside, therapy, it's going to be in conjunction with me using my religion first and foremost to
Mm.
combat things like depression and anxiety. Hey, pick up the Quran and read it. Recite some Quran.
Even reading hadith, because like legit, like if you read hadith, you read like half of the stuff Aisha, Khadija, all of them went through. It's like, to me, it's like a soap opera, because they went through some stuff and it's so relatable. It's, of
Absolutely.
course, it's some differences because of time and whatever, but it's like, I didn't know she felt like this, or I didn't. We have those traditions, we have those al hadith, we have the tasfir, because sometimes it's a disconnect with the Quran, because you, especially if you're reading the English transliteration, the English the transcript or whatever, you don't understand because it skips subject to subject, and it's not connecting. But if you
Mhm.
have those, like, we don't, it's not like the Bible. We have those, we have the explanation of, we have the tasfirs, we have the hadith, we have everything in this small bubble
Mhm.
that we can use. And when we don't use it, and we're not obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that's when we start messing up.
That's where we start having all of these issues, psychological issues and everything. So, I know we're talking about nutrition, but all of it comes full circle. Nutrition, mental health, spirituality, it all comes full circle.
Yes.
For sure.
But I actually did therapy. So it
And
was,
what has been your experience with therapy? Did you feel like you had to shop around? Because, like, I know not, I guess some people, they'll meet with a therapist and maybe right away they'll feel like there's a connection. But did you feel like you needed to shop around
yeah,
for
you
the
need to shop
right
around.
therapist?
I think you need to shop around for the right therapist, but at the same time, we as Muslim sisters, you know my story, I know your story, I know the other sister's story, I know Aisha's story, I know her story. It makes sense. But if you go to someone who legit never seen any Kabi in her life, never
Mm-hmm.
met a Muslim, only seen whatever is on CNN, and then you sit down with them, first they have that fear, and then they're at all that everything you say is like, you say, yeah, I walked to the store, and you were like, and then they're like, you were allowed to walk to the store?
Right,
So it's
right.
like, you have that uncomfortable, like, they're so amazed that you survived all of these years with your horrible situation, because you're so,
Right. Like you're oppressed.
you're oppressed. I'm
Right.
so glad that you even survived enough. Like, they're so amazed, and you're like, yo, this is not what I this is not what I'm paying for. Like, I get it. I'm trying to tell you, the story. I'm trying to tell you, we're trying to get to the bottom of it. And it was just, every time I talk to someone, because you have this, they're straight out of, they're out of college, and they have their life experience, but then they don't have your life experience.
Right,
I
right.
thought, I maybe finding a Muslim psychologist, someone who is Salafi, for one, because sometimes you have the ones who are Americanized. You have some foreigners are Americanized, but they're still Muslim. So, but they still can't relate. Um, it matters, because I couldn't find anyone that could relate and made sense of my situation. So I just stopped going because it wasn't worth it. It was just like, every time I told her something new, she was just like, what? You know, we know
Right.
sisters that have been married twice. How many times are you married? Married 3 times, 4 times. Have,
Listen, we not even gonna.
no, not right now. That's nobody business, okay? Nobody
Right.
business. So no, you have those sisters, you have that situation, and to try to talk to somebody, you want to talk to them, you want them to understand. Hold on. And for one, you want them to understand what's going on, but to have to explain it is like explaining la ilaha illallah to someone that's not Muslim. They are
Right.
they don't get it. First, they don't understand
Right.
why you're Muslim. So that's my experience. I don't know if it's anybody else's experience, but that was mine, and I didn't want to do it anymore. It wasn't worth it for me.
And for you to be able to make that decision, I mean, that has to be respected, because you have people that really, swear by this therapy stuff, to the point where if you like, if you're not in therapy, it's like, oh, um, your life is just going to be in shambles.
Yes, my therapist told me this. I'm like, okay.
Right. And they feel, life is like that, everybody, like what you just said, you trying to find this, especially for the Muslim who's trying to live in America in this Western society. We're constantly trying to balance, trying to be Muslim, but also, well, we live in this Western society. So, and a lot of us weren't even raised Muslim. I know that's not the case with you, but
Even though I wasn't raised Muslim, I don't think it matters because we learned about the dawah together. When I was raised Muslim, but I had to relearn Islam
right.
to the dawah to Salafiyah. So it wasn't, we were just Muslim. We fasted during Ramadan, we prayed. So alhamdulillah, I was raised Muslim, but it was more, honestly, I was a cultural Muslim.
Right, cultural, right.
So alhamdulillah, like I think that it's a lot. It's a lot that we have to unpack. I think it's more that we have to talk about, especially dealing with our past. And my goal overall for this is to change the way we see ourselves as Muslim women. We weren't big, so our goal overall is just like to try to be better. We don't have to, like, every conversation I had with a Muslim sister was about our husbands, was about this, was about we are smarter. Like, you are legit the only person I can be like, Alani, guess what I just heard? We'll talk about science, we'll talk about something else. But you can't have those conversations because everybody's so caught up, not with their kids, but with their husbands or something like that. And I want us to educate ourselves about what's going on in this world.
Absolutely.
More than just our relationships, our past.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I said I think it's awesome that you created this channel and this space. I'm looking forward to coming on here again for
Yes.
some other topics.
Give me your spiel. Tell me what you plan on doing, how people, just tell us about you and how people can contact you. What's next for you?
So I do have a Instagram page. I'm not on Facebook. I do have an Instagram page. I will send it to you so that you can leave it in the comment section or your description for your video. But I do have a YouTube page, not a YouTube, I'm sorry, Instagram page. I'm not on YouTube. I have an Instagram page that is dedicated to nutrition. It's called Figure8, but it's figure_ATE, not the actual number 8. So that is where you can reach me. You can also leave my email address. Yeah, and that's basically it. I don't have a website up yet, but that's still to come.
And don't worry about it. Somebody help her out with her website. Somebody is trying to do something. Is this only for men? I mean, women, or is it for men too? What's the situation with that?
Female only.
Okay. So ladies, if you are trying to start your lifestyle journey, not just your weight loss journey, if you're trying to start your lifestyle journey, sisters, not people who are not Muslims, you are welcome. Follow Alani, call her up, connect to her, connect with her, and she's gonna help you. Okay.
Right. And we can talk meal plans. I'm not a fitness coach, so we have to distinguish the two. I'm not a fitness coach, but nutrition, we could talk nutrition for sure.
But that's the meat and potatoes of it.
Absolutely.
I can work out, 10 million hours a day and then still have a horrible diet and not lose 1 pound. So, you guys, this was Sally Speak. Let's talk. Thank you so much for coming. Please like and subscribe because I could be forgetting to say that. If y'all don't like my channel, be upset. Y'all better subscribe. I better see some notifications on that thing
Yes,
too.
so that's how we're gonna increase, this content, get into who it needs.
Yes, because I'm tired. Don't be hating on me. I'm not playing. Y'all better start subscribing. I'm not playing no games. All right. So goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Alaikum.